like when you're considering again things like that, you have to think a normal necromancer kind of sucks. Like he just does not have damage at all.
So it begins.
So leveling all the way up to 24 is so much time that pretty much ends up not being worth it because you're taking so long. As opposed to this character where you're just running around on players 8 and you just drop a fissure and then keep moving. I reset because I didn't have the right runes, yeah. Dude, we are struggling to hit these dudes. That was like kind of brutal. Normal necro speedrun sound miserable. They're kind of miserable. I know it's a long turnaround, but I had 0 money, and I think that's going to be worth it to get the money. I mean, to be fair, many characters farming to 24 is not that effective on a speedrun. So, it's not like the Necro is, you know, the only character that has that issue.
So, this is where.
But like, Paladin is usually good enough. I believe he's fine to do it. Druid's fine, Assassin's fine. Sorceress, you don't need to. Amazon, with the new poison jab, you're probably okay, to be honest. Where you can go to 24, that's pretty strong. Just like skills that let you kind of throw it and then go, you know? If you can throw it or hit it on players 8 and then move forward, then like you're fine. It's just when you can't move forward that it really starts to become problematic. Like the Necro. You have to sit there and, you know, teeth or spear the dude 15 times. And that's just too many times. It's just painful.
Greetings.
Sure. I mean, I really like my PvP Bone Necro. The one that I crushed Cooley with. Remember that. I don't like this. Cut this way, cut this way. Cut that way. Fishing Mancer's alright. I'm less of a summon dude, but I feel like summons. Ding. But this is what I'm saying, like, those things are just dying off my screen over there on players 8. I'm not even having to worry about them. You know. I do a tiny bit. But compare this to how long it takes for me to kill, you know, on the Necromancer. It's such a big difference.
Such stones are common back home.
This is Poison Creeper. It got a nice buff and, like I say, kind of just murders everything for the very start of the game. Then it falls off and becomes trash, but to start, it is very good. Better than anything else, so. Right, and that's the thing though. The second Poison Creeper starts to fall off, you have Fissure, which is also broken all the way through like middle of Nightmare. So the Druid just has a really nice setup, but like too nice. You know, if I were developing the game and could go like change the class, I do feel I would decrease the effectiveness a little bit there. Now, that being said, the Druid doesn't have a lot going on in his life. It's kind of a sad character a little bit, so, you know, you'd have to make sure to also give him some other things. What about Moo Girl? A piece of endgame equipment can change to speedrun so you can run impossible achieve otherwise. Some like skin the Viper. Yeah, I mean that's what I mean. There's nothing really that like is so game breakingly good that you would drop that you could also use. You have to remember there's item requirements, level requirements, all that stuff. One of the best items that you can drop in a lot of runs in a hell run is Skin of the Viper Magi though. Now, that being said, you lose the faster run walk from the stealth, which is pretty detrimental. Now, if you're on a sorceress, it can be nice. Because, of course, the sorceress, you know, takes advantage of that. But if you are... playing any other character, losing that fast run walk's not always the most fun, but you do gain res and skill and, you know, some very nice pieces for sure. This is annoying. Tower's probably all the way bottom left or something. Sanders boots are a godly item to drop though, yes. Very good. Generally, it's the faster run walk pieces like that. If you can get treads of Sithon, that's 30 faster run walk. If you can get Hisaris boots, required level 3, 20 faster run walk, and some fire res to boot. If you can get Gorefoots, 20 faster run walk. So really, you're just looking for those dropping super early. And Hisaris boots are pretty common. Like, not like the most common, but they're decently common of a drop there, so. Yeah. I mean, I'll take 10 fire res, it's fine, I suppose. Osiris belt's also good. Yeah, but in terms of like improving a speedrun, getting the fast run walk is worth a lot more, you know? I've gotten lots of high rune string speedruns. Jaw, Burr, Sir, Vex, Ohm, Cham. The only rune I haven't found during a speedrun is the Zod rune. But again, none of those do anything. They're completely worthless. The Burr rune, you know, not even because you can't use it with level requirement stuff. But all right, I mean that's what we wanted. Thank you very much, game. And give me the 2-socket armor.
Yo llama, can normal
let's
cows
actually go
drop 4
respect
os flail? Or can I cube socket a flail from normal cows for 4 os? I've got the runes for Hoto for my sing barb and no flail lol.
Hold on, sorry. Let me focus. No, you cannot drop a 4-socket item in normal. But you can drop an item that could get it with cubing. So if you want to find it just as a 4-socket flail, you'll have to start going to Nightmare to do that. Alright, let's go PA. I mean, I do like first try Taleth. Even if our tower was a little bit annoyingly far away.
No way. Bars can't.
Am I doing all the classes again? What do you mean by doing all the classes again? I'm actually going to check this just really fast. Because maybe we'll get a fallen group and... I don't even know if you have a fallen group if it's worth leveling or not. We did not.
No way. Bars can't.
Like this character doesn't really need leveling, but because I have stealth, if I just did like 2 or 3 runs with it, you know, would that be worth? Maybe. Maybe it would be. I need to go submit my speedruns. Maybe I'll do that today. So today will be a little bit shorter of a stream, and I say a little bit, it'll be decently shorter. Because Moo Girl has to go to the doctor, and so it just causes some mess with the children. So I'm gonna be on some baby duty. But while I'm on baby duty, I'll do a little bit more for Llama RPG, which we've got a lot done there. And maybe I'll go submit my runs, and we'll do some things like that. One to Firestorm? Sure.
Supernatural is strong here.
That does kind of look like it could be it. I just feel like normally I'd see it. Okay, yeah, there we go. I'm like, normally you can see right there. I don't love that. Because I think it's over to the left there. Just like feels like it is, you know? Sometimes your guts point you ways, but it's not guaranteed. But this is a really annoying blocking. Yeah, it is. Okay. Act 1. being a little more annoying than it needs to be right now, but we do have the stealth still hanging out, so that's nice. Ooh, nice. Here we go. Level, please. Thank you. Another one? For me. That's gonna be it, yep. Look at these maps though to get to it. Super annoying. Yeah, Act 1 has gone a little slower thanks to a couple of those maps like that, but this is nice. You know, could have been much worse. We've honestly had some pretty good luck today. Honestly, we've had some pretty good luck. Okay. Let's put some chips away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Give me a belt. Take the magic find. Okay. Thanks, Pot. 3-day break. It was only a 2-day break, right?
Hey there, Mr. Lamas Canderscore. I hear that when you get mail delivered to your house, your children eat the paper envelopes, even the ones with the little clear plastic windows. My man, there's no shame in asking for financial help. We can't have another failure to thrive.
So, I was sitting with Baby and Dario, just hanging out. And she was holding a piece of mail, playing with it. Next thing I know, there is a whole bite mark out of the mail. And Baby and Dario's just sitting there chewing on it. It's like, oh my god. We can afford food for the baby. I mean, look, if you want to subscribe, it helps, but oh, I do want 17. I need to kill something really fast. There we go. All fiber, yeah.
Moo.
Bobby NPM with the Prime for 12 months. Thank you.
Impossible. Impossible.
That was weird. We got tons of gear. We gonna get the waypoint up here? Yeah. I was like, that'd be nice. Okay, we'll save that for re-rolling. Normally I'd sell that, but gotta remember. Re-roll telestaff. Save ourselves some time.
Impossible.
Okay. Even if we fourth way and this run goes to garbage, I think we should at least take it to the end and just grab the record really quickly. And then we can, you know, do whatever stuff later. That sound good to everybody? Because this record right now is, you know, not too bad for the hardcore one, and then softcore is pretty wild. And I've got a nice softcore time, but we can at least get like something set that we can race against in the future. That is my plan. Okay.
Your presence honors me.
Greetings.
One to blaze. One to cyclone armor, one to molten boulder. A little bit of money.
I am overburdened.
Sometimes it's really hard to click things into your cube. It's weird. You like try and put it there and it just doesn't like click in. I don't know.
Impossible.
Let's do that.
I can't.
Upgrade.
Impossible.
Recently built Infinity Fears on. Infinity stands for the distance between where you want your mercenary to be and where they actually are. Yeah. Seems pretty accurate. Okay, good enough. Let's do it. Baby Andy was eating the resistance scroll that Mala gave her. You know what? That's actually the best explanation for it. And I'm gonna tell Moo Girl that's what happened, so it wasn't my fault.
I can't. Impossible.
She watched me play Diablo 2. She saw the resistance scroll from Mala. And she just wanted resistance, man. Like, can you blame the girl? Ah, this Lost City sucks. Split Yavra from World Record. This is the hardcore record. Yes. Which is substantially slower than the softcore one right now. So that's what I'm trying to bring them closer together. Thank you. Oops.
I can't. Snakes. I hate snakes. I can't.
Now we do need to get moving here.
Impossible. Impossible.
We still have Arcane Sanctuary, Maggot Lair, the tombs. So we still have a lot to get going.
Good day.
Thanks for keeping this game alive, of course. Thank you for being here watching. Your support means I can keep doing this, means your favorite game from your childhood still gets to stay alive, so thank you to everybody who's here watching, everybody who subscribes, donates, likes all the videos, leaves comments, all the good stuff. This map sucks. Our maggot lairs have not been the greatest. That part is true. That feels like it all just goes up to a dead end over there, so I'm gonna go this way, but this doesn't feel like it's... Jesus, this map really sucks. I think it's just right there. Actually, I don't think it's right there. I think that'll connect to where it should be going to, though. Wait, no. Okay. That's not it. It's this. No. Okay. Okay, it is that. Yeah. These maps kind of suck a lot. I just want to click that health button. Thank you. I played Summon Necro. It was fun until the maggot lair. Yeah, he's not really built for the maggot lair. It's a pretty rough one when you play him with that. Once you get your telly staff in Nightmare in Hell, that helps a lot with it, though. Ay, ay, ay. Come on, game. What are we doing here? Don't love it. Let me see if I can see something. Could be still that way and that way. All right, this is really tanking our time. It's really amazing how you can have, like, you know, stuff like the arcane be so important, but then your maggot lair is like equally just as important. You can very easily lose like 5 minutes in the maggot lair. It's insane. If you just get these maps compared to just like simple turnoffs. If I have a unique item with a bunch of stats and add a rune word, then Lars is just an interesting remain. You can't put rune words into unique items. If you put runes into it, you'll get, you know, whatever the runes give you. And the unique item as well. But yeah, you can't also get a rune word out of it. I feel like that's the difference between a game nowadays and like back then. Ay, ay, ay. Like I feel like games nowadays, if rune words were really like added in, the rune word would go into the unique item or whatever, because all they know is how to make the one legendary best item the best item. They can't figure out nuance and maybe having like, oh, trade-offs, you know, maybe you don't want to use that GG unique because there's this rune word or there's this magic item.
Moo.
Whoop whoop 21 months.
Not
Keep
really.
up the great content and awesome playthroughs / speedruns. Thank
Everything
you
is
for everything you do for the
powerful
entire
as
community at
possible.
Mlamask.
Thanks, Nate. Pretty much. Just like it always has to be the most powerful thing. I need health pots. Yeah, that really hurt right there, that maggot lair. We're in a not good spot anymore. Still blows your mind that the Detour devs wanted Sunder Terms to add to your res. Yeah. Even still, I don't love Sunder Charms as they are.
Moo.
But
You can do the thing.
I did think, thanks Dweep. I did think that at least
I can't.
giving negative res was like
I can't.
beneficial, you know? I was like, look, it's fine. They're okay. But
This was not designed by nature's architect.
Greetings.
if you're going to let people break the res and stuff, at least have a downside to it. Don't have 100% immune. I mean, it's really difficult because immunities, like, really are such a great part of the game, but also a rough part of the game. You know? I think immunities work better in this game when you don't have, what do you call it? When you don't have synergies and stuff. Because Diablo 2 used to be built where you'd kind of have, you know, a multi-spect class, right, in character, and that was kind of more the thing. Now it's a little harder to do that, and that can cause some difficulty. So but like Llama RPG is going to have immunities, but immunities will be not nearly as punishing
This was not designed
Because-
by nature's architect.
you are... Don't love this. You know, they won't be nearly as punishing because you're going to have more than likely multiple damage types. If you're only running one damage type in Llama RPG, you're probably playing it wrong. So you're going to be spec'd into a variety of things, and your weapons are going to be a variety of different types of damage as well. And yes, the other thing is immunities promote cooperative gameplay, which was also one of the big intentions of immunities in the first place. Right? It was literally so that there would be more cooperative gameplay.
Not enough mana.
Where can I take you?
Llama RPG immunities to first phase, yeah.
This was not designed by nature's architect.
There's poison strike, proc, knockback. No. Only like the physical hits of things. But, you know, once Diablo 2 really moved especially into this idea of being, you know, you're a lizard sorceress and whatever, and you're this endgame super-powered GG character, but you can't kill like so many mobs because they're cold immune. I do think it got a little bit tough. Again, just the way synergies function in the game. So I think there's something that you could have with Sunder Charms, but the current implementation is not really it, in my opinion. Third way it is.
Moo.
And not having consistency across the DMG types.
True. True. Thank you, Judo.
Impossible. Impossible.
I should boost up skills that hybrid as well.
Impossible.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of... The hybrid stuff is nice for sure. It's like a cool, you know... But not every class even has good hybrid things, you know? So, it's definitely not an easy thing to figure out. I think they need to go back to the drawing board with Sunder Charms. But I say that, and like, what, we haven't had anything changed in really a while, so, you know, they're not going back to any drawing boards here, unfortunately. We just gotta accept that this is probably where the game is going to be. And then be happy enough with that. And I'm happy enough with that. Yeah, this is slow acting. Those are nice rings. Oh gosh. Falcon mask. Are you kidding? Give me the Falcon mask. Thank you. Long maggot. Third way.
Greetings. Good day.
Just what you're gonna get. When's Llama RPG coming out? I'm working really hard with everybody to try and get a good amount of the base out by like end of this year. And then we can add, you know, the future other pieces and all that, but that is my goal. Future, what's going on? Thank you so much. How you doing? Llama RPG have a Steam page? Yeah, if you just look up Llama RPG, Farm to Fable, that is the full name, but Llama RPG should get you there. We really tanked our timer on Maggot Lair. Yeah, I mean, that was some crazy Maggot Lair maps. Again, third way plus Maggot Lair, even though we had a nice outer set of maps, that just completely tanked it. So, it's okay.
I can't.
Play Llama RPG on VR for immersion. Thank you, Lion! Alexan, thank you. Is there any working version of Llama RPG? So currently we're doing private testing with Llama RPG. It's probably pretty close. I need to go in and review. I went in and made a bunch of changes and like requested a bunch of changes. Don't be this map. Don't do it to me. Oh, that guy. And Warren got a lot of the changes in, so I need to go test those. That's kind of where we're at right now. Otherwise... Ouchies. It's, yeah, I mean, once those are kind of there, I need to open up the map because I currently still have it locked in on Act 1, but I've got like 5 or 6 acts designed. So I need to open it up so that everybody can actually get to the other acts, or at least a couple of them. And get a couple of like things implemented with some like quest stuff. Maybe there we won't do like quest really in the next alpha. We'll just leave that still.
Impossible.
Yeah, so that's kind of my focus, I would say. Is just go in, check it, see if it's feeling right enough, and then go from there.
Impossible.
So 5 kicks right. Let's see.
I can't.
In Llama RPG, please tell me you play as a llama. You play as a llama. You do. In Llama RPG, you are a llama whose goal is to go and save the baby llamas, aka Kriyas. It's annoying. Wait, that does look like it goes out there. Uh-oh.
I'm impressed that Mughal married you on the premise that you will make billions with llama.
Y'all really gotta help that become a success so Mughal will stick around. Oh no!
I can't.
That's annoying. Okay, yeah, I mean,
Impossible. I can't.
we got mapped hard. Oopsies.
Move.
Impossible.
Thanks, Hammer. Appreciate that. We got mapped really hard here. The 3 is kicking right and to the Great Marsh. Walked 5 minutes for nothing. Yeah. The maps have fallen apart for us this run.
Impossible.
Last run they were much better.
Impossible.
Yeah, it's a normal llama, not bipedal. It's normal. 4-legged. The first planned DLC, so there's going to be a variety of like DLC things and stuff that I'll be making for it. And it'll really be focused on, let's go this way.
Impossible.
Just a few various, like I've got like extra zones. So each DLC will be like an additional zone added, maybe another class added, and then kind of a little like quest or story to go along with said area. Shouldn't be anything too wild. But I've got a lot of things like that. And then also within the DLCs, I've just got plans for like making, like I've got Llama RPG or Llama TCG, right? I designed a card game. And so, you know, that will like be in one of them and stuff, right? That's kind of the current plans is just finished the sorceress. What should you do next? I mean, honestly, like the world is your oyster.
Good day.
I think there's a lot of great characters, and the next one is really up to you and what you kind of enjoy. Dang. Under 50k.
Greetings.
But I think like Wind Druid, Trap Assassin, those can be really fun. Shopping Sunday. You chose throw barb as your first. Not the easiest first, but I did really enjoy the throw barb. You know, I should get some staves here and we can...
Come on, llama, let's be real. The answer's always barbarian.
Is it though? Lightning charges. Okay. Unfortunate.
Good day.
I do want to be done with Act 3 like at this time, so we're definitely behind. But it's okay. Maybe we can end at like a 110 or something, 112 for this run. What's the most fulfilling thing for the gamer in the game, in your opinion? Just being all over the gameplay loop, building character, friend game, story. For Diablo 2? Or Llama RPG?
Greetings. Good day.
For Diablo 2, I think it's this. For Llama RPG, I really think the overall appeal, what I'm building it for and what I think will make it really great, what I'm like super excited for about the game is that the game is being built for people who want to like have fun with the game. Which I know sounds weird, right, when I first say it. You're like, okay, every game is built for like fun, but it's not, right? A lot of games are built for money, and not for fun. So that's kind of my first piece there. But like, it's supposed to be silly and fun. And not trying to get you to see other people's skins and then go, oh, I wish I had that. Oh, let me go to the store, right? It's not going to have like those things that are in the way. The game should be immersive. But what I mean still overall, I'm not pitching it well enough, is game fun. So it should have a really fun like social scene. Right? And a lot of focus on interacting with other people. It should have, and it will have a lot of focus on like having a really nice PvP in the end. So there's really just like a good place to go and again, fight with other people and do things like that. There will be trading in the game. There will be an auction house and a trade house. And it's supposed to really have a lot of the stuff that an MMO will have that I think is really fun about that, and then just like value for playing the game. So for instance, there will be hats in the game, and you will get hats through completing various like achievements, right? Your hats are like your Steam achievements. So if you beat the game, blah blah blah, if you kill 10,000 rocks, blah, blah, blah. All of these things. Each one will have a hat. And they'll be kind of like hidden secret achievements and things like this. And you got to figure out what it is. And the community should have to figure out how to get the hats together a little bit and whatever stuff. And when you accomplish these things, then you'll have a hat that nobody else has. And so now you can, go and hat it up and wear this hat, and so other people can see that you've put this time in and whatever. Oh wait, I have stealth already. Just kind of like things like that, right? And the skins in the game, you craft. So if you want to wear a cool looking skin, you craft it, or you trade for it, or you do this. And there should be a lot of focus even within like being a crafter, being a skin maker, you know, whatever, being a hunter or gatherer, being, you know, like all these various pieces will each have their own reasoning kind of to do them. And it'll take a lot of time and commitment to actually become like a top tier crafter. And then you can become known as somebody who's like a top tier crafter, and people can go and, you know, oh yeah, this is somebody that I want crafting my items for me because they have, you know, a really good crafting tree. And then you can kind of like make a business out of it and all this. And just these sorts of things where, again, you really get to play into the fantasy of RPG, because this is what I think is failing in so many ARPGs nowadays, but just like RPG, you know, overall, right, is you don't get to have that. Yeah, okay, that is the chest, which is not great. I don't love that being there. You don't really get to have that fantasy. You know, like RPG is gone. It's
I
just
hear the big
action.
villain in Llama RPG is this dastardly guy named Kano that refuses to visit you when he's in town.
I like it. Whoa, that's just a full dead-ended block. That sucks. So there is some, you know, when I look at games that were inspiration, and you should see this, you're going to see, obviously, some, like, Diablo 2 influence, but you should also see influence from other games, like Star Wars Galaxies a little bit. You should see some influence from, you know, a little bit of, like, classic World of Warcraft and things like this. Just... the game is really trying to take the parts that I just absolutely fell in love with of some of these older games that really had so much focus on the RPG side. And again, being able to play a game how you want to play it, and the game not just being about big number, mass number, blow up everything, right? Like, if you want to spend your time just crafting and making awesome items, you can do that. Or, you know, making cool skins, you can do that. If you want to spend your time you know, chopping down trees, you can do that. Like, a little bit of RuneScape-ish. Yeah. So that's what I mean by bringing back fun to games. I feel like a lot of games have lost that piece, and to me at least, have lost a lot of fun. Because they're kind of just trying to force fun in the way that they deem fun should be had. Right? They're like, it's fun when you kill boss and do this. And it's like, sure, that can be a way, but... the game will be $9.99, which is well below what it should be. But... again, I'm not trying to like really make a lot of money. I'm just trying to make a game that everybody enjoys. And honestly, if it breaks even, I'll be happy. So yeah, that is the gameplay and the focus and everything with it there. Man, we are... That was a slow Act 3. It is a game that really is trying to bring back the social aspects of games. Because that's also something that's like super disappointing to me. Like, look at Diablo 4. It's an MMO, but like, it's literally the loneliest MMO I've ever played in my entire life. And so many games nowadays, because your character also blows up the entire screen all at once, they aren't social games to play anymore. Because why would you need to play with someone else? You just blow everything up and all this. So I'm really hoping to bring back some of that fun as well, where there really is a lot of interaction with other people. If you want, you know, like, you're not going to be a top tier crafter and a top tier hunter and a top tier gatherer and a top tier, right? Like, you're not going to have all these things.
Fisto's hatred was a poison.
You got to kind of pick and choose, man. And you can make, you know, different characters for each of those and put all that time in, and it'd be a lot of investment. But technically, there would be possibility. But otherwise, so that is the Llama RPG focus. Right there. I think a lot of games suck nowadays. A lot of games don't focus on fun social interactions nowadays, and try and force you to play the game in an exact way. But then don't even do that great. Like, they're games that are 100% action games, but then the action sucks. It's just like, blow up the whole screen. Like, cool, great job, you know.
Impossible.
So I am also trying to keep damage numbers way down. You should not be doing more than a couple hundred damage in my game. Now, we'll see what balance looks like by the end.
I can't.
Maybe a little bit higher than that. Maybe you end up doing, you know, 500, 1,000, something like that. But if you're doing over 1,000 damage in my game,
Impossible.
I need to go back and rebalance everything. Thanks, Clint. That's all I can say.
I can't.
Kind of a unlucky map here. Yep. Am I coding it all myself? I'm designing it all myself.
Impossible.
I have Warren coding, so I've hired him to do most of the code there. Just, I did coding for, you know, many years. Not like game design exactly, but a lot of like other coding. And I don't know, I just don't love like coding enough.
Impossible.
How many is on the team? We've got Crass, who's done music. Sawyer's done story. Deathlord and myself have designed all the maps for the most part. A couple other people have done like a couple maps here and there, but 90% of the maps have been done by us two. Warren's doing coding. Another guy is maybe gonna do some coding, but he hasn't done a ton of it yet. Zerg is doing art. I'm doing all the game design and everything else. That's just whatever the other pieces are you have to do as the game creator. Marketing and Steam and all those things. Do I think I'll get this record? Yes, but I want it to be way better. It is not good enough yet. Oh god. So we'll get it here, but that'll just give us like a base to run against again. That's my thoughts. How do you finance that project? Moo Girl?
Rate the soundtracks for D1, D2, D3, and D4.
No, I mean, for some people, I'm just like, hey, I'll give you, you know, a few % of the game profits. For other people, it's, let's go this. I don't even remember D3 and D4 soundtracks, but D1 and D2 are dope. You know, I'm just like, pay them hourly for work, and so you know we're in it an okay amount, that's for sure. Again, if we could break even, I'd be pretty happy, but kind of take what we can get with it. It's very Diablo-like, yeah. You will definitely, especially like interface-wise, you will notice a lot of similarity to Diablo 2, you know. Because I really like... another important piece is I want the game to be simple enough. Like, it does have some complexity in its combat and how that all functions. But I do get tired a little bit of, like, how complex, you know, Path of Exile and stuff can get with things. So I don't want your trees to be massive and 5,000 skills and all that. You know, I kind of like the simplicity. Here is your 10 skills, your 20 skills, and it's in a simple tree form, and you just kind of pick which ones to go after, and, you know. Diablo, I really want you to run down here. Thank you. Ah, not quite. One more, Diablo, one more. There we go. Not a very good Act 4. Kind of unlucky. Unique ring. Womp womp. Do you play Diablo 2 in any other capacity, or is it only speedruns? I mean, I've done like a Holy Grail before, so I finished that. I've done first to 99. I've done second to 99. I've made multiple 99s in single player and in multiplayer. I've got build guides for every character in the game, just about. Those are all up on Icy Veins or on my YouTube. I do guided playthroughs of pretty much every single character as well. So just a, you know, how to beat the game with character XYZ. Yeah. I've done a lot. It's been like 10 years. Yeah, that's the Holy Grail, the 100% item collection. No tier rune, so we don't get leaf. A little unfortunate. Also, I do think it was maybe a slight mishap not getting level 25. Because if I had 25, I think then I end up getting like 26 or 27 in this run. I beat
You
Cooley
also
down in
created
PvP.
Mosaic.
I did also kind of create Mosaic. Hey, don't give me all the credit. I thought we would get to test more, but the original Mosaic was each claw gets 25% chance to not lose a charge. And so I told them that's trash and that won't change anything, because if you're losing 50% of your charges, it'll just be like, you know, like it's really hard to track when you lose a charge and not. And so it'll just become a really tedious, like, unfun build to play. That's my assumption. So I said that needs to be at 100%. But I also thought it needed to be a little more nerfed in some other ways and things. And, well, the 100% part went through, but not the other parts. Have fun, Ariel. Now, I wonder if, thinking back on it, if it did have a 50% charges drop.
Impossible.
I wonder if that would still be fun or if it would just be too tedious. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Impossible.
Like, you'd constantly be dropping charges.
I can't.
It's probably too much. You're just dropping too many charges. Yeah. I think it just becomes unplayable trash. So my idea was, if you want to make the martial arts sin not unplayable trash, you do need to keep it at that 100%. But again, you would need to balance it in other ways, and the other ways did not happen, and so we're left with this. And then they just left, and so that was that. Leave it as is. It's too much.
Impossible.
It's just too much.
I can't. I can't.
Yeah, I mean, I've given lots of suggestions to them about that.
I can't. Impossible. At last.
Stalled out in hell. There's a lot of fire immunes in hell, so it's really difficult to take it all the way. It's too good for 2 goal runes, that's all. The problem is you like just don't need anything. It's so much power for 2 goals. And the thing is, I don't even like really care about the cost. Like I mentioned the cost because it is absurd that it's only 2 goal runes for that. But a lot of times people will say things like, well, Enigma's fine because, you know, it costs John Burr and stuff. It's like, the cost almost shouldn't matter. Or like, if they only made Spirit require an Ohm rune, it would be okay. And like, I disagree. Like, yes, obviously for speedrun purposes and all those things, it's like extremely powerful and too powerful for everything low. But I also think there needs to be, you know, just like general thought around.
Moo.
Thanks to
you know, like a game should be balanced around when everybody can still get like gear, right? Not just on the way there. So you want some balancing on the way there. Thank you, Warren. Well, Spirit Shield is always used, right? But yeah, it's just like the cost is not the big factor to focus on. It's if the power of the item is that it's best in slot, I don't care if it's an Ort rune or an Ohm rune. It literally, like Spirit Shield destroys every other caster shield. Make it cost Zod, 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 and it's still too good. Because it just removes every other caster shield from the game. That is its problem.
Impossible. Impossible.
The cost just means, yeah, you get it a little bit earlier. And every staff also gets ruined from it. Yeah, exactly. It just murders. There's always going to be one best in slot weapon. I don't think there'll be a best in slot weapon in Llama RPG, and I don't think that's true. The more that you make items and weapons and things situational, the better it is for a game, in my opinion. If you want to do more magic finding, then this is kind of more your best in slot. If you want to do more PvP, this is more your best in slot. If you want to do more of this, right? Missed it. Miss it again. There we go. There we go. Wave 2 down. Wave 3 down, I believe. What? I didn't think I missed that wave. worse waves to miss. Might have gone too far there. Yeah, that one was my fault. That was my bad. Where's that one dude at? Come here. Not the greatest wave skips. They're okay.
My brothers will not have died in vain.
Dude, I cannot get my fissure together here. What the heck? Super annoying. How are changes for Llama RPG coming, Warren? I've seen you putting a lot in. Just wondering where, like, ultimately it's feeling. Isn't a glitchless speedrun? Yeah, it's got a little glitchy stuff in it. Okay, well, it's not the best, but it's enough. Enough to start. Not a great time. It technically is the record, but there's a lot to be done with it. It was not a good record, so that's fine. It's a good starting point. It's a good starting point, but yeah, I'll take 14 minutes off that. GG though. We got the stealth on the first try. We didn't get any faster run walk. No leaf, no tier rune dropped anywhere. Telestaff was medium speed. It wasn't terrible, but it was cheap at least. Yeah, it was a decent run. Maggot Lair was ugly. Third Way Arcane, no Flare Jungle off of the Spider Forest. Sewers was kind of long. You know, there was just some bad pieces. So, you know, medium stuff. The pelt was 1 to Firestorm, which is like a tiny bit of help. But we'll take it. Hey, you know, like not a bad run. Not great, not bad. Very, very medium. But Act 3 definitely hurt a lot. That was slow. So a little bit of Act 2 and Act 3 really killed us. And then Act 4 also wasn't great maps. Yeah, just some tough parts. Not the best wave skips at the end. Plenty to do. Plenty to do.